Actually, it's Denzel.
Oh, no, is it really?
Yeah, but...
So was your dad Denzel?
Well, he was Denzel. And, yeah. And I'm Denzel Jr. So my mother started calling me Denzel, just so, you know, she'd say Denzel, and we both would show up.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you for joining us here with Get Into It with Taz and Chris. I had to show that clip because I'm really big on proper pronunciations, and it drives me crazy because I've told people like Rihanna's name is Rihanna. She pronounces it Rihanna, and people always look at me crazy. And then I also tell people all the time that they pronounce his name incorrectly. They're like, "No, it's Denzel. No, it's not. It's Denzel." Just like it's not Chrissy Teigen, it's Chrissy Teigen. And the late great legendary, it wasn't Cicely Tyson, it was Cecily Tyson. I'm like, y'all gotta listen to how people say their own names.
There we go.
Just plus, you know, the history buff in me.
Yes.
But
Which goes into fun with flags.
Yeah.
It's like flags, but with names.
I get more and more Sheldon by the week.
For those that don't know Fun with Flags, you're missing out.
Yeah. Let's start things off on a high note. For any of you all who enjoyed the Whitney Houston, Brandy Norwood version of Cinderella, I have good news for you. Pay close attention.
Full casting announcement for Descendants 4, aka The Pocket Watch, which is a spin-off movie that's going to be set in the same universe. In extremely exciting news, after 25 years, Brandy is reprising her role and will be playing Cinderella, linking that Cinderella movie now with the Descendants franchise. Rita Ora will then be playing the Queen of Hearts. Kylie Cantrell will be playing Red, the rebellious teen daughter of the Queen of Hearts. Malia Baker is playing Cinderella's daughter Chloe, who is book smart and athletic, and basically she and Red team up as an unlikely duo to prevent a coup from happening in the kingdom, and they do this by going back in time via a pocket watch that was created by the Mad Hatter's son to stop one event that would lead to all of this chaos. China Anne McClain is reprising her role as Uma. And then Dara Renee is playing her younger sister, Uliana. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but she is supposed to be a bully. Joshua Cawley plays Hook, one of her posse members. And this is kind of confusing because we already met Hook's son in Descendants 2. So I'm not really sure how those two are going to connect. Melanie Paxton is reprising her role as Fairy Godmother. And then Morgan Dudley is playing young Cinderella, aka Ella. And Ruby Rose Turner is playing young Queen of Hearts, aka Bridget. Let me know in the comments what other Disney characters you want to see make an appearance in the fourth movie, and be sure to follow along for more fun TV and movie updates.
Hi, this is Brandy and I play Cinderella.
Hi, I'm Paolo Montalban. I play King Charming, and welcome to set.
Shot of you guys.
I'm making believe I see in you. I'm meant to perfect to be really true. Do I want you because you're wonderful? Or are you wonderful because I want you? Are you the sweet invention of a lover's dream? Or are you really as wonderful as you seem?
I've always dreamed it would happen like this. And now it really has.
I don't ever want this night to end.
Neither do I.
I knew the sweet invention of a lover's dream. Or are you really as wonderful as you seem?
Okay.
Yes.
Let me just start by saying that will not be shown in the state of Florida.
Oh, definitely not. For
It's
DeSantis.
banned.
And it's funny because each time he gets blocked through the courts for his stay woke bill and his anti bill and his anti-gay, don't say gay, he keeps trying to expand upon it, and I'm like,
He's going for. I'm still amazed if he doesn't have the Guinness Book record of the word woke in one day.
and now he's doing international interviews to try and rip off Trump and continue to show that he's an idiot.
Yeah.
But from one idiot to the next, Candace Owens has made herself back into the news because the Kim Kardashian undergarment brand Skims has decided to be all inclusive and put out an ad of a lovely young woman who happens to be in a wheelchair. No problem. They're showing that they have, new bras and underwear that can be used by the disabled community. They're a little bit different, more friendly. Candace,
She got
Candace,
her panties in a bunch.
thumbs in a bunch. Take a look, y'all.
Ad came up and I just went, really? Are we really doing this? Is this what we needed? Take a look at this. Ready? So it is a Skims campaign, and it is a woman that is in a bra and underwear. Skims is the undergarment brand that is owned by Kim Kardashian. She's in a bra and underwear, and she's in a wheelchair. She's in a wheelchair, and it says Skims, made for everybody, available now. Really? That's all I'm going to say is really. I don't really understand how far we're going to take this inclusivity thing. I really don't get it. I don't know. And if I'm wrong, again, educate me. Today, I just want to be educated in the comments. If people that are in wheelchairs were thinking as they were looking around, like, what really upsets me? That I've never seen a bra and underwear advertised with a girl in a wheelchair. Why did they do this? I don't know. I don't know why this needed to be done. I'm just getting tired of this all inclusivity thing. It seems ridiculous. I mean, we're going to be on crutches and be like, well, how come we don't have a girl that's broken her leg on crutches also in a bra and underwear? I don't feel included. I don't know. I don't think I can buy panties. I just can't buy panties because I don't know. I don't feel included. Look, I assumed that people that were in wheelchairs also have to buy bras and have to buy underwear. It's just something that I just assumed that was a thing. I didn't know that we needed to see that in our face. I didn't know that now we're going to have to look forward to campaigns where women that are in wheelchairs are now wearing bras and underwears because we as a society just cannot get to the bottom of our ridiculousness, because that's what it is. We are being ridiculous, America. When I see stuff like this, I just go, whose idea was this? Was it your idea? Okay, you're fired. I'd like to fire the person who was behind this ridiculous campaign. And by the way, I think people in wheelchairs will back me up on this. I think they're on my side. I think they think this is stupid. Let's all just agree today on Tuesday to stop.
The irony that she's a Black woman saying this, because we're not too far removed when old white men were saying they didn't want to see this. And people have mobility issues. Mobility issues are real. The ableism within this woman.
Oh boy. There's a lot of what I don't know where she's angling for her own personal goals. I don't know.
It's ridiculous. And to add injury to insult, she's trying to go back and forth with a disabled woman on TikTok. Now, this woman has been extremely benevolent, extremely patient, and explained like her mobility issues, why it's important. She even did a video tutorial of her pants because every day she can't bend over. Her pants have zippers along the side. So she has the security and she can get in and out of her pants and things like that. And Candace saying and being extremely facetious, well, maybe I just want to be educated. You never want to be educated.
No, she doesn't, because she turned right around and made it clear that she didn't want to see this. She didn't know why this is. And it's ridiculous. So, no, if you're calling it ridiculous, you're not trying to hear anyone tell you otherwise.
And it's like, I'm beginning to wonder, like, is she auditioning on camera to be Ron DeSantis's running mate? Because it seems like the big thing since Biden has been elected for the GOP is to try to find a woman to run with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what they were accusing every non-conservative of doing, like, oh, he just grabbed a woman to run. No, that's what you all are doing right now, because these short lists are so oh my goodness, the Dunning-Kruger effect is real.
It's like the Huckabee effect.
I'm like, oh my goodness.
No, I can only imagine those that are living in Arkansas. Oof. And other states too. I mean, that's just one of many.
Yeah. But from one delusional idiot individual to the next. It's been a while since we've talked about her, but we do have an update on Amber Heard, the woman who keeps on losing. It makes sense that she used to date Elon Musk. They both like to lose money. But here you go. Yes, she had another court case and didn't go well.
Their Tesla will crash and burn just like their relationships.
Amber Heard lost the biggest court case of 2022, and now she's lost again. Starting off, when Amber Heard lost her defamation case to Johnny Depp, she was ordered by the court to pay $15 million to Johnny Depp. But $5 million of that was in punitive damages, which has a $350,000 cap in Virginia, meaning she had to pay $10.3 million instead. And Amber Heard also won $2 million in her counter defamation case with Johnny Depp, meaning she had to pay $8.3 million instead. Then after the trial, Amber Heard spent 6 months contesting the court orders to not have to spend $8.3 million. Instead, worked out a settlement with Johnny Depp to pay him $1 million, and Johnny Depp agreed because he didn't want to go to court again. But the only problem, though, was after the settlement, Amber Heard didn't want to pay the $1 million. The reason for that is Amber Heard, before the trial, purchased an insurance policy that would pay Johnny Depp if she lost the court case. But the problem for Amber Heard is now the insurance company doesn't want to pay the $1 million to Johnny Depp. And the reason the insurance company is doing this is they're saying Amber Heard withheld information from them. I mean, if they knew how bad the case was, they wouldn't have insured her in the first place or given her a higher rate. And now the court is siding with the insurance company against Amber Heard. Amber Heard's got to pay. With that, I'm Charles Peral. Subscribe if you learned something.
Okay, we found Candace's running mate. broken senseless.
Here's the thing. She knew the evidence that was going to come out in this trial. Because I've said from the beginning, I do not understand why she decided to sue him in the first place. Like, she knew how this was going to go. And she's spending more money just to avoid paying Johnny. Like, at this point, girl, cut your losses and just pay him. Okay, just
there will be no more Aquaman for you. Thank goodness.
She reminds me, there was a guy that I knew many years ago that he got a parking ticket. He literally spent thousands of dollars trying to keep going back to court, keep going back to fight the parking ticket. Like, they have a picture of you illegally parked. Yeah. The ticket was $50. He was like, it's the principal. The principal that you got the ticket.
No, this is math. This is financial.
Because we both got the same ticket on the same night. Mine was an honest mistake. I did not know you could not park there. I got the ticket because I didn't live in that city. The next day, it was a business day, went on in, paid the ticket, went on about my business. He was so proud I'm going to keep going and I'm good. Okay. And then when it was all said and done, he was like, well, why would they let me keep doing that? Because they made money off of you, dummy.
Yeah. It's a Cameron move.
Very much so. Very much so. Now, got some updates regarding the plausible possible TikTok ban. And keep in mind, the CEO of TikTok is in the United States right now and currently chilling around Capitol Hill. They are set to testify tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. I forgot what day it was for a second. This is what I get for not having coffee for a whole day. Oh my God.
You could say you feel free that your four-legged brat isn't around.
Yeah.
But unsupervised.
Very much so. So here we go. There's 2 videos. We'll see you in 2 and 2. Y'all know how we do.
Hi everyone, it's Show here. I'm the CEO of TikTok. I'm here in Washington, D.C. today, and I have some news and updates to share with everyone here. Today, I'm super excited to announce that more than 150 million Americans are on TikTok. That's almost half of the US coming to TikTok to connect, to create, to share, to learn, or just to have some fun. This includes 5 million businesses that use TikTok to reach their customers, and the majority of these are small and medium businesses. Now, these numbers are amazing, and I'm so thankful to all of you and the 7,000 TikTok employees in the US who are helping us build this incredible community in America and around the world. Now, this comes at a pivotal moment for us. Some politicians have started talking about banning TikTok. Now, this could take TikTok away from all 150 million of you. I'll be testifying before Congress later this week to share all that we're doing to protect Americans using the app and deliver on our mission to inspire creativity and to bring joy. Let me know in the comments what you want your elected representatives to know about what you love about TikTok.
Here's what you're not being told about the upcoming TikTok ban. I'm a Seattle area news camera guy. I film overnight and sell it to local and national news every day. But I also get paid to share on here what the mainstream media skips or doesn't have time for. And I get paid a lot, more than many of the other influencers we all know and love on this platform. I'll tell you how much shortly and why. Television news can't run it all, skipping murders, violent crime sprees, and other types of incidents that leave behind victims and lives lost, whose stories would otherwise never be told to a large audience. I tell those stories here. And TikTok started to realize creators like myself with longer, more informative content are a big part of the platform's future as they turn more into a search engine and information sharing space like YouTube. Facebook and Instagram have seen this coming, and in turn they've started lobbying the government against TikTok. This week they had a huge win in that fight, lobbying the government to create a new set of laws so President Biden can shut TikTok off in the U.S. without being challenged by the legal system in court. Not that long ago, President Trump also banned TikTok, but he was challenged in court and lost. Now, any sitting president can do this without any legal challenge. Recently, Meta announced they will stop paying creators for the Reels platform they created to compete with TikTok. Meta is deciding to keep the revenue instead of doing what TikTok does, paying the creators that the viewers decide are creating the best content. This shows that they're realizing they're not going to have any significant competition again. Creators like myself were approached by TikTok earlier this year to participate in a newer, longer format creator fund. They wanted more in-depth, informative, engaging content. A viewer has to watch one of my videos longer than the typical short-form videos to even qualify as a view. This is a shift from the 7-second quick hits or thirst traps from the past. To incentivize this, they're even paying creators like myself over 20 times more per view than the old system. People like me can now work our own hours and tell the stories that I want to tell. Here I have over 140,000 followers. And I have over 6 million views this month alone. Instagram, I put up the exact same stuff and get a fraction of that. Facebook, even less. Other platforms suppress, while TikTok gives me reach. And that's the big difference. Instagram promotes sponsored content and selected creators. TikTok pushes organic content the viewers pick. The fact that a Chinese company is the platform pushing organic free speech to the masses while still maintaining a quick hand on harmful content may at first seem ironic, but it also should tell you there's a lot more to the story than you're being told. Meta, like other apps, are willing to share its data for a price to anyone willing to pay the price. We've seen this in our previous elections. Everything we do on our phones is for sale now. And simply singling out one app to ban instead of creating a system to manage this new challenge is wrong, not within the free market, and very un-American.
Now, I said it the other day when it was announced that creators were no longer going to be, now they were wooed to start creating reels, start creating, videos on Facebook and Instagram. And when they were informed, like, hey, you're not getting paid for this anymore, I was like, yeah, this is not a security issue, because the last election, the amount of just falsehoods that were pushed out on Instagram and Facebook was ridiculous. Because I remember having to work overtime to keep telling people, like, no, this is not true. This is false. This is how you can find it. I think it was 3 times I put out a list of websites that were false websites. Like, please stop sharing articles from this. Please understand how to read a web address. Please understand this. And there are people that were like, well, I'm an IT professional. My bestie's an IT professional. And they said that's not true. Yeah, they're lying to you. They're lying to you. Because right after that, there was a huge influx of computers and phones that needed to be debugged. What are you doing? Okay. Thank you. I don't want to play with your duck. Thankfully,
he's been debugged.
He's got 2 new toys. So he got 2 new toys over the weekend. So he's feeling himself.
Yeah. Okay.
But honestly, I believe it was Monday, I played a clip and one politician kind of had to slip up and told the truth. It's not about security issues. It's about other social media platforms wanting the amount of users and the amount of time that these users spend on TikTok. But the draw to TikTok is people are finding a sense of community. People are learning things. The amount of people who have learned a craft, a lot of people, who have learned how to cook,
Right. And fact checking.
Yes. Because there's
a lot of receipts on TikTok.
Yeah, because there are times that I'll be on TikTok going through videos that people have sent me, and then every so often somebody will send me something on Facebook, or you'll tag me on something on Facebook. And when I go back to Facebook, it's so night and day. The echo chamber for the bigotry and the hatred, where there are people where I'm like, you can't be serious. And they'll brag about, well, I'm only on Facebook. Yeah, because it's the only place where you're not going to see anybody correct you. Your timeline is specifically who you want to see. You're not going to be introduced to new people, new thoughts, new experiences.
Yeah.
Just like one person from back in my Frankfurt days.
Frankfurt?
That would sit there and go, well, nobody's talking about this or no. And I'm like, they are talking about it, but you've curated your timeline down that anyone who talks about their experience, you're like, oh, they're race baiting. They're not. Anybody who would talk about the news, if it was something that you deemed uncomfortable, you'd block them. So you're not seeing what people are actually talking about, and the activism and the education that's going on in the world around you, because you blocked everybody that would talk about anything. And then you get upset and go, well, Black people want everything about them. That's the only time they care. False. You just only cared about white men. And that's the only thing, minus me, that was on your timeline. And I'm still shocked that I survived the timeline.
Now, was this Frankfurt, Germany?
No.
Yeah.
But what
Frankfurt in the Commonwealth?
Yes. It's about this big. The capital city, which is about the size of a suburb.
Yeah, this big with a comic book store.
Actually, I had to drive to the next city to find a comic book store.
What has Mitch done with this?
And let's not forget my Sunday travels, because there are certain things I couldn't buy, and I'm not even talking about alcohol. Like, if you wanted, I had to drive like to Lexington there were places that were shut down. And I know things, I guess, shut down a little early where I live. I think it's pretty standard. But in Frankfurt, there are so many things that shut down at 10 o'clock. Because I remember wanting to go to karaoke one night. And I was like, oh, we can meet up at my house. The place is just right across the street. We can meet up at 9 o'clock. And somebody was like, we want more than 2 hours of karaoke. And I was like, what?
Hell, in Miami,
I
Florida,
was
you can't buy alcohol after
I was
6 o'clock.
shook.
Are there Amish there?
No. But we do have a little woman's history tidbit. I'm going to play this tidbit. Yeah, we'll come back after this and then we'll get into the ad because I was looking at the time, but I read the time wrong.
Hello, my name is Henrietta Lacks. I was a mother of 5 from Virginia who was diagnosed with cervical cancer in 1951. During my treatment, doctors took samples of my cancer cells without my knowledge or consent. Those cells turned out to be incredibly unique, and they were able to be grown and studied in a way that no other cells had been before. My cells, known as HeLa cells, have been instrumental in developing vaccines, treatments, and scientific breakthroughs that have saved countless lives. But for years, my family didn't even know about the use of my cells, and I wasn't properly credited for my contribution to science. My story shed light on issues of medical ethics, patient consent, informed consent, and helped to change the way we think about medical research and patient rights.
Now, I have incredible biography written regarding Mrs. Lacks. I've also had the opportunity through TikTok to have some conversations with some grandchildren of hers. So that was pretty awesome. But yes, all of this research, and when we talk about medical apartheid, this is what we mean. Black women, indigenous women, brown women have been experimented on, and there are a couple of colleges right now that are still holding on to literal bodies to keep trying to figure out if they can cure stuff. And it's like, you know what? This is why we are leery. Well, part of the reason why we're leery of medical trials. The first reason is too often we're intentionally put into the placebo group. Second, very few medical professionals are taught to see or notice different things because it's going to appear on different skins differently. And I'm not just talking about skin tone. Like, I have eczema. I had a medical professional once call the cops thinking that my parents did something to me because I had an outbreak on an arm that I had dislocated. If y'all know me, I used to dislocate my arm a lot as a child because I thought I was a crash test dummy. But the nurse didn't realize it was an eczema outbreak and thought that I had bruises up and down my arm from my parents beating on me. And I was like, have you talked to the people sitting outside? They might talk to us for like 3 hours and lecture us. And my mother will pull out a reference book and make us read it. But they're not out here 1-2 punching us.
Yeah, all I had to deal with was freckles.
Yeah.
And skin that burns in the sun. Yeah, I remember growing up with skin so sensitive that blisters would easily form on my shoulders if I was in the sun exposed too long.
Yeah, growing up, we had a neighbor that was like that. And being the child that I was, I didn't know. But this lady also liked to go out and do all of her yard work, like mowing. And they had a really large yard.
Yeah.
And she had like wine grapes that grew on her fence. And she would let us come over and get the grapes. That's probably why I have an obsession with wine now, because as a child, I was allowed to eat wine.
We call it grape juice.
which is it's a different flavor, different size than your traditional grapes, and for some reason I love them. Looking back, I'm
Exposure.
wondering why I didn't have tetanus or something, because we would just pick them up. But I remember one day she was blistering, and y'all, I thought she had eczema also, because after a really bad outbreak, it would kind of flake, and I thought that that's what her blisters were.
It's something that we have to live with as gingers.
Yeah, but this is also the same woman who managed to get a bee sting inside of her mouth.
Okay.
I don't know how. One day I should write a book on my teenage neighborhood, because
I don't know if that started tongue piercing, but no. I'm thinking no.
It may have. I guess she decided she was going to save some money.
No. Come here, honeybee. Mm-hmm.
And every time something weird happened, I was always that kid that was outside, because I liked to sit on the front porch, and we had a huge porch.
Yeah.
And our house was like smack dab in the middle of the street. So I would see everything. And then I would run inside and tell one of my parents, and they would just look at me like, are you the CNN of the neighborhood?
Mm-hmm. Mom, I love grapes. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I remember the day that my mom figured out the grapes that I was eating. And she just looked at me, because I picked some and put them in a glass, and I was going to smash them up to make my own grape juice, not realizing the type of grapes that they were, and that I was going to accidentally make myself intoxicated. Wow. And my mom was like, "These are the grapes you've been eating?" Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that ended. That ended abruptly.
It ended, but as we know, it may have started a chain reaction.
It definitely did.
Future events. Full supporter of vineyards.
Let's get into the ad, and then we're going to come back and talk about Gwyneth Paltrow and this trial that it is not an SNL skit. This is real life. We'll see you in 2 and 2. Make sure you turn up the volume, place an order, go refill your drink. Yes, go refill your drinks and grab a snack, because you're gonna need it.
Okay, Louis XIV, little king bitch, hated bathing, refused to do it, would rather have a crusty asshole, and he did. It was also very fragrant because his people would spritz him with perfumes and like little squirts of almond milk. And this was the thing of the time. So like he wasn't that out of pocket. As you can imagine, all of the perfumes and the oils clogged his pores and caused some issues down there, which led to him developing a fistula. Very painful. He couldn't sit, he couldn't hold court, he couldn't ride a horse. So they called his barber / surgeon. Yes, you heard that right. His surgeon was also a hairstylist. They were like, you need to fix this. He's like, give me a month. The surgeon barber went and found 70 poor and or imprisoned people and experimented on their assholes until he could figure out how to, I guess, pop a fistula. I don't even know. That's so horrifying. A bunch of them died. Very sad. However, surgery was a success on Louis. Hooked his little fistula, popped him a second asshole, relieved the pressure. Everything was hunky-dory. This is the best part. Everybody was like, a second butthole? You don't say. I want a second butthole, but daddy, I want a second butthole. And they called it the Royale. And everybody in the court was like, I have a Royale, even if they didn't. And if they did, that means they went to a surgeon barber and they had a new asshole cut. Just to be in fashion. And that's how Louis XIV has 2 buttholes.
Wow.
A fashion that no one can see.
Wow. Yes. I mean, yeah.
Like if your height causes you to have to get extra holes in your body. But these are the people who want to colonize the globe. These are the people who gave birth to the people who wanted to enslave folks. Oh, okay.
We don't really talk about what's in Washington when we talk about a couple buttholes, but yeah. Times were different. Oof. Wow. Okay, when you got gas, you got double the backdraft.
Like I knew that it had always been said that he had 2 exits. Now, first of all, for y'all to think that almond milk is something new, they were spraying his booty hole with almond milk. Out of all the things, almond. I have accidentally spilled almond milk on myself and was very irritated and disturbed and started to like get an uneasy stomach because right after that I had to go into a very lengthy webinar. It just drying on my clothes, just clean clothes, got up, took a shower, went to go get something to eat, accidentally spilled some almond milk. That was enough. When I tell y'all I took off like I was Usain Bolt to the shower to get out of those clothes as soon as I could get out of the webinar. I am not about to bend over and spread eagle for somebody to spritz almond on top of you put.
Yeah. Look, even Sir Brat would be like, no thanks.
Very true. Because there's a whole there's a patch of grass that most of the other dogs go to play in. He does not play in that patch of grass because there's too many dogs that do their business over there.
Yeah.
He's not, my dog is, well,
yeah,
my dog.
He's thinking, what if one day Joy Reid showed up? She would not want to do that.
Yeah. That's part of the reason why he has doggy cologne. And for you all wondering, yes, my dog really does have doggy cologne. And for the record, I was not the one that bought it. It was a gift. He gets some interesting gifts. He really does. Stuff that I did not know existed. Excuse me. Hello.
Ode readout.
Yeah, like I did not know that Eddie Bauer made dog clothes, but he's rocking his Eddie Bauer sweater.
It's for his one chance to get on the readout.
He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. And Mr. Reed, the husband of Joy Reed, I'm sorry that my dog is obsessed with your wife.
I apologize in advance for what he might do to her leg.
Yeah. Now, okay.
Now, show some pride. Show some pride. Oh,
okay. Now these next video clips, they're short. There's a few of them because you need to understand how much of a wild ride this trial has been. And there's no way for me to properly describe it because y'all will look at me and go, Taz, you're describing Saturday Night Live. I am not. I am not. Okay. This is real life. This has come on the heels of, if anybody has seen that viral interview going around of Gwyneth Paltrow claiming that she does intermittent fasting in the morning. She takes an IV because she has long COVID and basically drinks bone broth for lunch, and then eats a paleo dinner. I don't know what that is. Paleo diet dinner. And she looks like she's hungry and tired. This surfaced right after. Y'all just take a look. And like I said, this is real life. This is.
I'm going to go in. That guy kind of hurt me. And she went in. And she lost her full day pass that she had paid for. And she only got to ski half a day. In addition. And who was waiting for her? Her daughter, Apple, now 18, then 8, I think. No.
11.
11. Sorry, I got that mixed up.
Seemed to be engaging with them, even though she didn't say anything inside of the courtroom there at her position. That's pretty far away from the jurors in terms of where those tables are. But her face was expressive, and she was often looking incredulous at certain moments, like she couldn't believe what she was hearing, especially by the plaintiff's first witness.
Whole different crazy story. That
objection argument, Your Honor.
That is argument.
Overruled?
Oh, then 8.
Overruled.
Reassert my crazy comment. All right, so.
Those are facts.
Yeah, and let's keep the interruptions to a minimum, would we?
Well, counsel, go ahead. I mean, the objections have been valid, some of them.
So.
Your Honor, we have a new camera pointed directly at my client, right there on the right, which we understand is from the AP. This is
During the recess, I'll have the court representative, Tanya, take a look at how that camera's pointed and make sure that it's pointed at the lectern rather than at the counsel table.
And this has been a problem where
And yes, folks, you heard that right. Oscar-winning actress Gwyneth Paltrow doesn't want a camera on her during a televised trial.
So special.
And when she's not making faces at people, she's on her phone. And I don't know how she found attorneys worse than attorneys that work for Trump, but she managed. Like, he really said, can we keep the interruptions to a minimum? Sir, those are objections.
They may have been on the Trump's list. You know, I don't know. I mean, Did Amber suggest some to her?
The fact that he couldn't subtract 7 from 18.
Yeah. That's like calculus. Yeah.
She got all this money, but she's eating bone broth. And why do I feel like
That's why she's out
she
of the
saw an
MCU.
ad on a bench or a billboard somewhere and was like, they'll do.
That's why she's out of the MCU.
This is not very Pepper Pot of her.
Crackpot.
Because as I sat and watched, like, you don't want the kid.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, she took notes from Anna. She loves the courtroom.
And the camera.
Yes. Yes. You know, that's photo op time.
And she should have got whoever is currently styling Anna, because I don't know what that mess was that Miss Paltrow was wearing.
Yeah, it's something out of the Elizabeth Holmes catalog.
Yes. Which I'm still shocked that Elizabeth Holmes became a mother.
Yeah. Woo!
And then I realized she did have to stay in trial, because now she's trying to use the fact that she's a mother to say she shouldn't have to go to prison.
Yeah.
Like, girl, parents go to prison every day.
Yeah, she's not just an odd duckling. She's got some serious internal things going on.
She is.
I mean, Delvey, we know, like I said, the fact that she was able to pull off what she did, looking like somebody you wouldn't recognize just walking down the street, is fascinating in itself. But she knew exactly what she was up to. She knew exactly what she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some of these others don't have a clue. They're just winging it. So, and
Now,
Delvey's still at it. So
yeah, she's got the whole show hosting people while she's on house arrest and waiting to see if she can stay in the country. I just, you know
right,
what?
right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But there is one more trial that we must discuss, and most people probably don't even know about this trial.
And it's not the Murdochs.
Now, it's been dubbed the Family Feud trial, and you'll see why.
Here. Charles here. So this is crazy, but there is a man charged with murdering his wife. He was on Family Feud and was asked a question that is will make your shaking your boots.
Yeah, it's haunting now. Even though you're going to see him smiling when he says this, when you realize what just happened last month, according to police. This, as you said, chilling.
Honey, I love you, but said I do. Not my mistake. Not my mistake. I love my wife. I'm gonna get in trouble for that, aren't I?
It's gonna be a lot of hell to pay at your house. Let's try to save my buddy Tim.
Good answer.
I do.
Well, okay, he got it right. That was a win that day. But he is now charged, and it turns out that he and his wife, I believe they had 3 or 4 kids.
Yeah.
They were in the process of getting divorced, and she got a restraining order against this guy, and
then last month, police say that someone broke into her house and murdered her, and they have arrested and charged him, Timothy, with the crime.
Can we just say, He looks like a different person.
Completely different person.
It's shocking when you look at that picture.
A lot has changed over the last few years.
A lot has changed. He's being held without bail, too. And look, well, obviously it was the right answer there. It appears not only looking at his appearance, but the state of their marriage, too, a lot changed. Because, as you mentioned, there was the restraining order there. And he's been arrested and charged for this thing, and it happened almost a month ago.
Hey, Brett, I didn't see the wide shot of this. Was she there on Family Feud?
So I don't think she was there up on stage. She may have been in the audience, but she wasn't part of their team.
Well, that's kind of interesting in itself. But look, we...
Yeah.
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 Really went on to Family Feud and said, regretted saying I do at the wedding. But when she was like, okay, you do? Well, I don't. And he was like, well, you won't anymore.
Oh, poor Steve. Steve's like, I didn't ask for this. Mm-hmm.
I got nothing. I saw that and I was like,
I'm just
you
like,
gotta-
where's, I'm like, can we get Deshaun or something to relieve us from this? Where's Deshaun when we need a distraction from that?
trying to avoid getting another massage.
He's got him lined up. He's TikToking. He's TikToking.
Yeah, true.
He's definitely not trying to learn how to massage himself. So
No, and Patrick Mahomes' little brother needs to learn from Deshaun Watson because he's currently being investigated for forcing a kiss onto a restaurant owner.
oh jeez.
But final thoughts on the night?
Yeah, it's been crazy. Let's see. What are my thoughts for tonight? There's so much going on that we're kind of held in limbo. Yeah, I'm waiting for the upcoming and soon to be, which this past week, I was pleased to see that the owner, soon to be former owner of my team in Washington, has vacated the building. Woo!
Whoop, whoop.
They took his parking pass and whatever else they need from him on his way out. So I'm hoping that means that the group of owners, I know there's still a discussion of who might be involved in the purchase, which could involve, I heard Magic Johnson, I heard Dale Earnhardt Jr. could be, I heard several could be a part of this group. I hope Magic does, because he does bring a lot when he does get involved.
Oh, definitely.
So that'd be great if Magic could get involved. I think the league needs more. They've just never been about that. You know, they're the old school of the old schools when it comes to who's running the ship in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, not like in Cincy where, you know, everything's diverse and wide open. I just wonder why the Bengals are somehow losing more of their defense than doing more on their offense, or do both. I hear more about who they're losing than who they've.
It's the same old rickety family.
Are they cutting corners to get ready to pay Joe or something? Because they're unleashing like several key members of their defense and their tight ends gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no idea what Cincy's doing. So
The Brown family is not very business oriented.
They're penny pinchers. Well, they're going to have to end up paying some of these guys soon, or they're going to go right back to where they were. Those people are leaving.
And it's not
People will leave.
fun time.
They will leave. You pay them, they will come. You don't, they will leave. That's how it works. So
100%.
I got really no other thoughts for the
I think my only final thoughts are I think we're all on pins and needles to see how tomorrow goes when the grand jury reconvenes.
Ching ching.
See what goes on with Trump, and let us also not forget, because everybody's focused on the New York grand jury. Let us not forget that there's also the Georgia grand jury as well. So it may happen back to back. It may happen. So we don't know.
Yes.
But
right.
Not looking too good. The fact that Trump is completely unraveling over on Truth Social.
Yeah, throwing down Ron. The two of them are like siblings.
They need to just duke it out at this point.
Yeah. Or they might just have milk and cookies together.
Like cookies and Diet Coke. I still can't get over Trump having a Diet Coke button installed in the Oval Office during his term. Like, dude, drink some water. And learn how to eat a proper steak. But as always, thank you all for watching, and make sure you check out all the links in the description of this video.
And go get some merch. Everybody go get some merch.
And I will try to have some coffee tomorrow.
Or more grape juice.
Well, one or the other. But as always, each one teach one, each one reach one. And we're going to close with a little Versailles history. Till next time.
So the Palace of Versailles in France had a massive bathroom problem. Namely the fact that this luxurious palace, which would have costed approximately $2 billion today to build, they didn't have any bathrooms. Mind you, there were times where approximately 5,000 people would live here at the same time. Naturally, what this would mean is that in this extremely luxurious place that was bedecked everywhere that you could possibly imagine with gold, there was also simultaneously copious amounts of urine and feces that was everywhere. The problem was so severe that at some point it became fairly common for people to find a corner and simply urinate or defecate in. And visitors who would come would first be amazed by the sights before being the opposite, amazed by the smells. The problem was such an embarrassing one that by the time of Louis XV, he ordered that the hallways and everything be cleaned once a week for the removal of dirt and or feces. I'd say the phrase "you can't have shit at Versailles," but that would be false because there was shit everywhere.
With her weight, and instead of